What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Now in this video, we are jumping back into the adventures of Superman, Jon Kent, issue number 6, the finale to the Injustice saga. And what we have seen throughout this line so far is Jon Kent arriving in the Injustice universe. In doing so, he has met a version of his father that he is completely unfamiliar with. A Superman that is a tyrant, that doesn't hesitate to hurt and murder. And while Jon is still trying to really figure out this world, figure out if this Kal-El is worthy of carrying the title Superman, as he links up with the Resistance, he talks to Batman, Alfred, and all the others. But in doing so, he didn't know that there was a tracker on him. And so when Clark comes for Batman, the hero's being imprisoned, and now they just wait their execution. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up on Earth Injustice. We are at the Hall of Justice on Execution Day. Outside the Hall of Justice, the crowd is building up. The world is preparing for the execution of both Batman and Harley Quinn. But we have a conversation between Wonder Woman, Superman, and Cyborg. The Injustice Justice League is a little bit concerned that Jon Kent might try to stop all of this. Cyborg is letting it be known that he has done scans after what Luthor had done. He knows what universe Jon had come from, and so Cyborg has developed something to send him back to his reality, back to his Earth. And while Superman believes that it will never come to this, while he tries to ignore the fact that Jon isn't going to side with him, Wonder Woman and Cyborg both know that this needs to be on standby, that Clark's judgment is clouded by the face of his son. And so while they go on the search for Jon before the execution, this is where we pick up with Jon out in the sun. He knows what he has to do. Batman and Harley Quinn are going to be murdered. If he wants to save their life, he has to go through the entire Justice League. And so today, he must be more than Superman. He has to fully tap into his powers, fully embrace everything that he is. And Lex Luthor had told him that he used up all of his energy at once fighting Ultraman. To have what he needs for this battle, he needs to store up more energy before he releases it. That is why he is sitting on the surface of the sun. He is taking in all of this energy, preparing for what comes next. And so as Jonathan makes his way down to Earth, he can see that the whole Justice League, they are scouring the Earth looking for him everywhere. But Jon knows he must take out the most dangerous first. And that's what brings him to Barry Allen, the Flash. Coming down to the Flash, at first, the Flash is a little bit discombobulated. He's not used to people interrupting him, or more accurately, he's not used to people having the time to interrupt him. But absorbing all of that solar radiation has made him as fast as he has ever been. And so in this moment, he is able to keep up with the Flash. And so as Superman, Jon Kent, and the Flash talk in Flash time, he has to ask Barry Allen, do you believe in what Clark is doing? And while Barry doesn't say anything, he doesn't have to. Jon was able to detect the Flash's heart skipped a beat when he asked that question. Jon lets it be known that he is going to save them. He knows that the Flash can stop him, but he's asking him to sit this one out. And so the two of them talk. They talk for what would be hours for anybody else. They share thoughts and ideas. Jonathan makes promises and the Flash accepts them. The Flash is doing the best he can to not abandon a friend who has made some terrible mistakes. But he does warn Jon that if you hurt Clark, the Flash will catch up to you. The next people that he takes down is Hawkgirl and Yellow Lantern Hal Jordan. He takes down Hawkgirl by ripping off her wings. He sets her down safely and then he goes over to Gamora. At this point, Jon already knows that Jay is gone, that they must have figured out how he is connected to Jon. But moving faster than a great will can form, he is moving faster than fear itself. Before Hal Jordan even knows he's there, he has already removed his weapon of terror. And so once the lantern is taken care of, it is time to head over to the woman he fears the most, the one that he is most afraid of. That, of course, is Wonder Woman. He knows that he can't hold back. He knows that he has to use everything he has. And at this point, he can finally use everything because he has control over these new abilities. This ability to use all his power in one burst. But she has the power of Hermes, the speed of a god. But Jon Kent is faster. Grabbing hold of her, she begins to react as they are passing Jupiter, moving quicker than he ever has before, faster than ancient deities, stronger than he has ever been. But she is still Diana, Princess of Themyscira, and as they reach Titan, this is where Wonder Woman is able to attack. The sound of his jaw breaking is louder than the densest atmosphere. But with them on the surface of Titan, Wonder Woman lets him know that he could have been so much to Kal-El, that he could have been so much of the love he lost. But now she is going to bury this disappointment in this moon's dust. This is where Jon recognizes that Wonder Woman is not the person she should be. But he didn't bring Wonder Woman here to fight. He brought her here so that he could buy some time. Wonder Woman was on Titan yesterday. She had been investigating some strange tremors, so he understands that she can handle being on this planet. She can also fly at hypersonic speeds. But with Jon being able to fly faster, he just needs a little bit of time. He needs Wonder Woman away from Earth. And so flying back into the sun, recharging himself, now having the lasso in his hand. That's what brings him back to Gotham. That's what brings him back to Damian Wayne. And as Damian is perched on top of a building, with Jon having the lasso of truth in his hand, he is telling Damian that Wonder Woman is an ambassador for peace. That whoever this woman you ended up with is not Wonder Woman. That there's a lot in this world that seems unsalvageable. But while he's holding this, he knows that Damian can believe in him. He tells Damian that he thinks he could be the greatest hero on this planet. That he just needs to start believing in it as well. He hands him the lasso of truth and asks if he really wants Bruce Wayne to die. And with Damian grabbing the lasso of truth, he says no. With Jon going on to say that in his world, they lost Alfred. That Damian should talk to his, because Alfred's approval is all that matters. That he doesn't need the validation of a dictator. That he is stronger than this. And this is what takes us to Superman. With Superman trying to get in touch with any of the Justice League, nobody is answering. Superman standing outside the little cell that they have put Jay into. Superman cannot help but feel that Jay has turned Jonathan against him, that he has poisoned his mind. But Jay tries to let him know that you are obviously toxic, that you don't need supervision or super eyes to see what you have become, to see what you are. But as Superman gets angry, he goes into the cell with Jay. This is where the wall crumbles and we have the arrival of Jonathan. And immediately Jon lets it be known that he rescued both Harley Quinn and Batman. In his eyes, he is stopping a public execution. That there is no overthinking this. He is doing the right thing. This is where Clark gets a little bit upset. He tells him that you've been on this planet for 5 minutes and you think you have the nerve to judge me. And he asks Jonathan, if I were to kill this man right here that's in my hands, what would you do about it? Jon says that he would do whatever it takes to ensure that he faces justice and no more. And Superman asks him the question, do you really think that you are stronger than anger and grief? And Jon does. That Superman must be stronger. He has to be. With Kal-El wanting to put this to the test, he breaks the arm of Jay. And that's where Jonathan's power comes out. With Superman telling him to do his worst, to show the world exactly what you can do. And in this moment, Jonathan knows that he's faster, that he's stronger. And while he has this surge of energy, he knows that it's not gonna last long. But we see Jonathan charge right in at Kal-El, believing that this is going to be the knockdown fight of the century. Jonathan doesn't throw a punch. He hugs Superman, and he tells him that he is sorry for what happened to him. But that doesn't excuse anything that he has done, that he must face justice. That no matter how powerful, no matter how much influence he holds, powerful people must be held accountable. This is where Kal-El backhands him. He tells him to get up and fight, but Jonathan refuses. No matter how much Kal-El wants it, he is not gonna hurt him. He's not gonna do this because he is Superman, and the man standing before him is not. He lets him know that it wasn't me you lost. It wasn't me who died with Lois, because there's no way that you could ever be my father. With the crowd waiting for the execution, he speaks to the world, to the cameras, to the phones. He lets it be known that something is wrong with this universe. But all they really need to know is that Superman doesn't kill. Superman doesn't lead through fear and violence. He doesn't intimidate. He isn't cruel or vengeful. Superman is a friend. Superman helps. And that if you can't accept the truth from Jonathan, maybe there is somebody else that you would listen to. This is where he projects Lois Lane's words. She speaks about the trauma that he has endured, about how much has been taken from them, that it would be easy for Superman to hate. But even now he doesn't, and it's remarkable. His compassion, his heart, his empathy, these are Superman's greatest weapons. And this leaves Kal-El speechless, not knowing what to say or what to think. This is where Jonathan gets blasted in the back. That is because Cyborg has just hit him with a cannon that is going to send him back to his world. As he begins to fade away, Kal-El is begging him not to leave. He doesn't want him to go. He doesn't want to lose him again. But as Jonathan fades away, he tells Superman, "I truly hope that you find a better path, that you can reflect on what you have done and that you can change. But regardless, humanity is watching. They have seen. Some of them still may worship you, but most will see exactly how weak you are, how lost you have become. Whatever it is you had here, that is over." That's what takes us back to Earth Zero. Jonathan arriving at the Hall of Justice. He may not have understood before, but now he gets it. He understands why Superman is so hesitant to do more. It's not because it would be hard to tackle more of the world's problems. It's because it would be too easy. But as he arrives back on this Earth, he recognizes how loud it is. The screams, the shrieks, the howls. Something is wrong. And Jonathan is gonna go figure out exactly what is going on. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now personally, I have a kind of love-hate relationship for this story. Or I should say, for how this ended. Because let's be honest, we all wanted to see a just straight out grudge match between Kal-El and Jonathan. We wanted to see Superman versus Superman, with Jonathan's ability to use all of his power in one go. Not only that, but he went up to the sun to absorb even more power. We were really anticipating just a straight out battle, and unfortunately, that's not what we got. And I understand why. It's Superman. He's trying to be the best version of himself. And I'm speaking about Jonathan. Now, what Tom Taylor did here is introduce Jonathan into this universe, into the Injustice Earth, but he took him out without changing really anything. Now, the world knows they see Superman as a tyrant, but that isn't going to change anything that's going on. The only thing that can change anything going on with Earth Injustice is Kal-El. It would be his choice not to be a dictator anymore, not to be a tyrant. Because while the world may have saw all of that, it's not going to change the fact that he is still Superman. The only thing that might change is the loyalty of Damian Wayne. But Jonathan does what Superman always does. Instead of using brute force, instead of punching his way through problems, he used his words. He used empathy and compassion. And this is exactly what we expect from Superman. Because the most powerful thing about Superman has never been his powers. Superman is the best version of all of us. What we all strive to be. What we all try to be every single day. The best versions of ourselves. Superman is a reflection of that. Or at least Superman is supposed to be a reflection of that. And that's exactly what he is trying to tell the world of Earth injustice. But I'm not gonna lie, I am severely disappointed that we didn't get to see the full-out fight. I really wanted to see Jonathan using the full extent of his powers against someone that is very capable of taking him down. And I wanted to see that to really test Jonathan's capabilities, to see where he stands toe-to-toe with someone like his father. But the way this ended also leaves so many things unanswered. We still have Superman and Red Tornado Lois Lane, who are stuck in the Phantom Zone, and there is absolutely no mention of them. None whatsoever. Now, Jonathan's story will be coming back in Jon's adventures continuing in Beast World, which begins this November, which is quite a ways away till we get to see a story really featuring Jonathan again. But until then, hopefully Tom Taylor's somebody comes to answer what happened to Superman and Red Tornado in the Phantom Zone. As it stands, Jonathan is the only one that knows where they are besides those on Earth Injustice. So hopefully we get to see him trying to save them, trying to bring them back. But all in all, this Injustice saga wasn't bad. Tom Taylor did a good job of writing it, bringing a 6-issue story to a close relatively well. There's definitely some loose ends that need to be taken care of. But for now, Jonathan is back on Earth Zero, and we'll have to patiently wait to see what comes next for our young son of Krypton. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this Injustice saga, be sure to check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.